So I've gone off-roading a few times now and hit a few things really hard. Let's see how a stock Bronco holds up to the trail damage. Welcome to the Never Ending Weekend. So I went off-roading a few times this year. Joined one of the oldest off-roading clubs in my area. So a shout out to Central Ontario 4x4. I'd say if you're just starting out on the off-road journey, it's super important to go with an experienced group, not only to show you the best lines, but also if you get into trouble or there's a mechanical breakdown, they'll know exactly what to do. Every time I do go off-road, it always surprises me how capable the Bronco is in stock form. I have the Badlands package, but still, and I've hit a few things really hard. So it's gonna be interesting to see what's damaged, how it's held up. But first things first, I gotta get it clean so we can take a good look. I'm assuming some of you guys haven't gone off-roading even though you have an off-roading capable truck. I was the same way. I would watch a lot of videos, people rock crawling, especially in the Rockies or in the West. We don't have the same type of formations here. It's more like forest rock crawling. Well, I guess it's not rock crawling, it's tree crawling. But joining a club was a good first step. Going with people who are a little bit more experienced, knowing where to go, helping you if there's trouble. If you have a off-road capable vehicle and you're thinking about going off-road, go for it. One thing to keep in mind, your car will get damaged in some way, whether it's light scratching from branches or something bigger. Something will happen. Scrapes on your wheels. Always surprised to find those guys who have off-road vehicles that go off-roading buying those expensive wheels. I never understood that. But anyways, you'll be surprised at how capable your truck is, and it's definitely fun and definitely worth the time and effort. I don't know about anyone else, but I'm kind of nostalgic about car washes. I think when I was a little kid and my dad would take us to the car wash, it was like a special fun thing, and who doesn't love a good car wash? I know this is not the cleanest way to wash a car. I have all that equipment that I bought, but it is the quickest way.
Thank you. Please pull forward slowly into the wash.
It's a touchless wash. Now, if you're like me, you try to go through this part as slow as possible so they can blow off the water. Oh, I didn't approach it fast enough. Yikes. Something fell off, I think. That's it. Let's go. Looks like I lost one of the caps off my light. Found it. Look how far it is from the car wash. Flung off pretty far. But got it back. So just got back from the car wash. It did a surprisingly good job. Still a lot of things left, some of the mud caked on and stuff, but overall did a pretty good job, surprisingly. I'm just going to show you some of the trail damage first. I talked about the wheels before, but looking at it now, as long as you have these protective rings, either a beadlock wheel or something that's beadlock capable, it does muster the protection. I don't think there's anything wrong or scratched on the actual rim itself. Oh, I spoke too soon. There are some scratches on the rim. But the brunt of the damage comes on these beadlocks, and some of these are worn down pretty hard, and all four wheels are kind of the same. A lot of damage on the cosmetic ring, but not too much on the wheel itself. Again, spoke too soon. I guess there is some damage on the wheels. So yeah, then my original statement stands. Surprised that people buy such expensive wheels on their off-road vehicles, especially when they go four-wheeling. I mean, there was no cosmetic ring, I'd be pretty upset, especially if I spent a lot of money on some expensive tires. Oh, this doesn't look good. That's a pretty big chunk. Man, I might have to get new tires. Okay, let's start from the front. You know what? I'm surprised I don't have more damage at the top, because I got a lot of branches and stuff hitting the lights. I'm almost expecting one of the lights to be ripped off by the branches that are coming across. but so far it's okay. Got a lot of zebra striping on the paintwork, especially on this side. You know, and on this vehicle, considering what I do, it's not too bad. But if it was kind of a daily driver and you're kind of babying it and you didn't want any scratches on it, they're pretty noticeable. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's a line all the way across there. There was one time the Bronco was leaning, man, it felt like 45 degrees. I don't know if it was that far, but the tree was literally going to bend up against it. But I had a couple of guys push on the Bronco as I drove through, and my tire fell into the spot it was supposed to, and I avoided the tree, but that could have been pretty significant damage if I actually leaned against that tree. But besides that, for body work, it's just been branches and that type of thing. All the big slams have been from underneath the car. The fender flares get hit pretty hard. This one has lost a lot of its pins, but the other wheel well covers are pretty good. The bumpers themselves, not too much damage. It's when you go underneath is when you start seeing all the stuff, like down there. I've obviously hit the skid plate pretty hard, enough to dent it, and this is an aftermarket, a Fab 4's skid plate, so thicker than the stock one, if you can see that. Hitting the lower control arm attachment points, but not too bad. And it looks like I've hit the bottom of these screws a bit, but again, not as bad as I thought. This is a weak point in a lot of the Broncos. This steering, I don't know what you call it, a steering something, but that looks like it's pretty good. Still a lot of dirt in there, caught in there, but yeah, not too bad. Some things that are popping out. The stock skid plate looks not too bad. Some scratching and stuff, not too much denting. I'll climb under there in a sec. Let's look at the other wheel here as well. Got some crap stuck in there, but not too bad. Worn out a little bit, but while driving around hitting those things, I kind of expected a lot worse. Again, some bending and scraping on the lower control arm attachment points. Let's go over here. So the rock slide engineering, pretty dented pretty badly, but the steps still work. So kudos to the rock slide engineering team. Now these kind of get a brunt of the impact a lot of times. I don't know what these cross members are for, if it's just added bracing or if they're there for protection, but they take a lot of hits. As you can see, they're both pretty dented and banged up, but they don't seem to be structural, or maybe they are, because they're welded into this crossmember piece, but they're only screwed on. Well, actually, they're welded in here too, so maybe they are structural, but they've taken quite a bit of hits. Now, all these factory skid plates, you can see that one over there is bent quite a bit, but they're doing their job. Here's the attachment point for the other control arm, but those are getting banged up pretty good. Even the shaft itself. Muffler seems okay. Let's go to the other side. Oh, these rock lights get filled with mud actually from going into the water and stuff, and even though they're emitting light, they're so muddied up that you almost can't see that they're on. Okay, here we are on the other side. A lot of denting on the rock slide engineering step sliders, and again the other angle, I think kind of bent the stock skid plates and banged up pretty good. Other angle of those cross members I was talking about. And there's the rear trailing arm attachment point, but not bad. And even though it's dented here, I don't know exactly what's up above this, but, and if you know, put a note in the comments if I should be worried about that, but it looks to be okay. Nothing essential being crushed or anything. Let's go to the back. So here we are in the back. These seem to be bent a little bit and scratched up a bit, but again, not as bad as I thought it would be, considering they're right beside the wheel. I'm sure I've slid off of things. Not too much damage on the rear pumpkin, which is again surprising. I don't know if seems a little bent, but maybe it's supposed to be that way. Here as well, not too bad on that side. The drive shaft seems to be in okay condition. Yeah, not too bad. This is where the original muffler would have been. Now it's gone. Hey,
What are you doing?
making a video. And on the tail, not too bad. I mean, the license plate's all messed up, but besides a little bit of a bend in the hitch receiver, not too bad. So yeah, I have a good idea. I'll replace that messed up tire with this one. So yeah, that's it. Considering this is a stock Badlands Bronco with no suspension or aftermarket tires or anything, I'm still amazed at what it can go over and what kind of punishment it can take. I can't imagine taking any other like normal car on the trails that I've been on. And it's a lot of fun. If you haven't tried it yet, go out. I encourage you, if you have a off-road capable vehicle, to go out there and check out the trails. But definitely find someone who knows what they're doing if you're going for the first time. Anyways, have a great weekend, everyone.